Every year, thousands of people are moving here to the Sarasota area, and for good reason. Imagine a world where you're playing golf in the morning, you're sitting at a beachside cafe for lunch, and at the end of the day, you're watching a world-class sunset. This is not just a vacation fantasy, this is actual reality here in Southwest Florida. In this video, I'm going to try to cram in as much as I can to give you everything that you need to know when considering to relocate here to Southwest Florida. I'm talking location, geography, why that geography is important, all the different master plan communities that make up this greater Sarasota area, things to do, healthcare, cost of living. I'm going to try to cover it all as quick as possible. I'm Ryan Zakos. I'm with Zakos Rowington Design Group out of Sarasota, Florida. I'm sitting in my office in downtown Venice on Venice Island. I started this firm with my father about 8 years ago. He's a retired police officer for 25 years. We believe that we are the best way for you to relocate, that we know the area better than anyone. Obviously, if you have any questions throughout this video and you want to reach out, shoot us a text, shoot us a call. More than happy to help. First, let's start off with location geography. If you're looking at a map, you'll see Sarasota kind of sitting right there in the middle. This whole area is sitting south of Tampa, which is a huge metropolitan area, and north of Fort Myers and Naples. It's a perfect area in Southwest Florida, I would argue, because you're kind of getting away from those metro areas with a lot of congestion and traffic, but still getting the perks and accessibility to these big areas. So on a map, if you're looking at Sarasota, Sarasota is right on the Gulf of Mexico. Just north is Bradenton. Just east of Sarasota and Bradenton is Lakewood Ranch, which is a master plan community, which we'll talk about. Just south of Sarasota is going to be Venice. You have Osprey, Nokomis, Venice. And then just south of Venice, you have Wellham Park and Northport, Inglewood. And then further going south into Fort Myers, Naples, Port Charlotte, all that kind of stuff. But we're going to focus in this video, this little pocket on Southwest Florida, kind of from Bradenton down to Venice, and talk to you about all those different areas and what they mean regarding lifestyle, culture, and the differences and why you might target each and every one of those areas. As for climate, you probably know I'm not going to spend much time on this. A very mild winter. That's why everyone loves it. There's like 6 months of the year where it's not really going to hit freezing. It's going to stay really nice in the 70s. You might hit the 60s or even the 50s sometimes, but it's a very mild, wonderful winter where you can play pickleball, golf, pretty much all winter without interruption. Summers are warm. You're talking 94, 92 for the highs, 100% humidity. It gets very warm in the summer, but it doesn't become unbearable where I'm not able to go outside and play golf or do the outdoor sports. So you're talking year-round sports. That's what I grew up playing here in the area. And I personally would choose the warm summers and the mild winters over anywhere else in the country. But of course, I'm a Florida boy, so that's probably a little bit skewed. Now let's talk about the geographical perks for the area. Being that the location of Sarasota, Lakewood Ranch, Venice, you have great proximity to airports. That's a really important factor for a lot of people. Your Sarasota, Bradenton has its own little international airport that's on the western side up by the coast, just north of downtown Sarasota, south of downtown Bradenton, right there on that line of Sarasota and Manatee counties. So really nice airport. It's still small. It's easy to navigate. That's a great perk for the area. If you're in Lakewood Ranch, you're 15, 20 minutes to the airport. If you're in Sarasota, you're 20, 30 minutes, depending on where you're at in Sarasota. And then obviously, the further you go south, the further you are away, but still great proximity. You also have St. Pete Clearwater has its own airport. Tampa has its own airport. That's a huge perk for Lakewood Ranch, is really close proximity to Sarasota, St. Pete, and Tampa, because you're on the northern side of Sarasota County, entering Manatee County from most of Lakewood Ranch. And then going south, you have a Punta Gorda airport, and you also have Fort Myers as an airport. So tons of ways to travel in and out. Makes it super accessible. That's a great perk for geographical location. Also, Sarasota is known for its beaches, 35 miles of pristine coastline. You're talking Longboat Key on the north side of Sarasota County. So half of Longboat Key is in Sarasota County. Going down south, you have Lido, St. Norman Circle. You have Siesta Key just south of that, which everyone knows is the world-class beach, constantly ranked #1 in the country regarding the beach. Just south of that, Casey Key, which is more of a island for residents. There's one public beach in the very south side. It's Nokomis Beach of Casey Key. Then you have Venice Island, which I'm sitting in right now. Wonderful, quaint, historic downtown area. tons of beach accesses, known more for its shelling and shark's teeth than its pristine white sand like a Siesta Key would be known for. And going south of that, Minnesota Key. So tons of beaches. I love it because every beach has a distinct quality, kind of a cultural element to it. Some are very natural, more shelly, rocky, like Casperson Beach here on the south side of Venice Island. Then some have that very fine white sand that's cool to the touch, that quartz crystal. It's spectacular to look at, sit in, and I probably cater more to that, but obviously my kids love the shark's teeth and the shelling here on Venice Island than south. So you can kind of get whatever you want for the area, and that's what's a huge perk. For the other geographical perk is the proximity to some of these large metros. Really, you don't even need to. We'll talk about in a second the amenities that this area has. You really didn't need to go, but if you wanted to go enjoy like professional sports, for example, you have Tampa right around the corner, which is only an hour away from Sarasota. You're only 45 to an hour from North Lakewood Ranch, and then even closer depending where you're at in Bradenton. Proximity to the big metros and everything that you'd want within a big city is right around the corner from you. So it's a great geographical location on a map. That's really important when choosing your relocation destination. Now I'm going to jump into some of the housing and neighborhoods. It is really important to kind of understand how the housing works and the developments and the master plan communities are shaped around this area. Obviously, Sarasota was established over 100 years ago. If you're looking at the coastline, that's going to be the first area that was developed. A lot of the new construction, which is obviously a very high priority for relocation buyers, especially after these storms. They want these houses up to code with hurricane windows, hurricane roof, all that kind of stuff. New construction has become a high priority. New construction is going to be focused around Lakewood Ranch. That's why it's one of the fastest growing master plan communities in the United States. East Sarasota, North Venice, and then obviously Wellland Park is a master plan community down in its Venice address, but technically Northport. These are all wonderful areas to target. And if I was a relocation buyer, I would be targeting those areas. Everyone's going to have its own culture, its own amenities, its own proximity to different things. So that's going to cater to the person that's looking for a specific lifestyle. But in Sarasota's got some established master plan communities. Palmer Ranch is one of those, over 20 neighborhoods in Palmer Ranch. The new construction is kind of wrapped up. There are a couple communities technically in Palmer Ranch, even though geographically you could argue, but like Talon Preserve, wonderful new construction community on the south side of 681 there, technically Nokomis. And that's in Palmer Ranch. So Palmer Ranch is a master plan community. The Meadows, a master plan community in northern Sarasota, great proximity to University Town Center, the shopping, the retail that it has around there. Wonderful tennis facility, great golf facilities, but another established community that has, everything from condos to single family homes. Palmer Ranch is the same way. And then now we're starting to see some new construction in East Sarasota. And that's an area that I would target if I was looking to be close to downtown Sarasota, close to Siesta Key. I'd be targeting those East Sarasota new construction communities. And obviously reach out, shoot us a text if you have any questions regarding some of those communities. On the north side of Sarasota County, east of I-75, there's Waterside Community. That's a Lakewood Ranch community that exists now. Lakewood Ranch does exist in Sarasota County. The school zone is not great, so that's something to take into consideration. Overall, Sarasota County's got some great schools. By the north side of Sarasota County, just be cautious if you're looking at buying and you have kids on the north side of Sarasota County. But Waterside, wonderful community. It's in Lakewood Ranch, a ton of amenities, got its own little downtown area. Again, close proximity to the International Airport, University Town Center with some great shopping and retail. And then just north of Waterside is the larger Lakewood Ranch area. It's in Manatee County. That's where primarily Lakewood Ranch exists. I mean, you're talking 50 square acres of homes, over 30 plus communities. 50% of that land is going to be undeveloped. It's going to be very natural, nature ridden. It's a wonderful place. I currently live in Lakewood Ranch. Love Lakewood Ranch, a great place to target. But because it is 50 square miles, it's important to know all the different nuances that come with living in northeast Lakewood Ranch versus southwest Lakewood Ranch. It's a vast difference. Because 50 square miles, it's actually pretty big geographical difference. So that's important to take into consideration if you're looking to move to Lakewood Ranch. You got to have someone that's looking out for you and being honest about what communities they should target. Every possible builder, from luxury builders to tract home builders, exists in Lakewood Ranch. Very affordable homes at 350,000, townhomes all the way up to 2 million plus stay-style homes in Lakewood Ranch. It's, again, I'd view Lakewood Ranch as almost its own city, its own main street, different little sections, shopping centers within Lakewood Ranch. Lakewood Ranch is its own master plan community, 50 square miles. Sarasota obviously is a massive county, so there's a city of Sarasota as well that exists, but the city of Sarasota is actually kind of a small area of land. A lot of Sarasota is just what they call an unincorporated area of Sarasota. Then you have Osprey and Nokomis, which are unincorporated areas, census designated places they call them, in Sarasota, and they're in Sarasota County. Then you go into Venice, which is its own city as well. City of Venice exists on Venice Island, and as well as a little bit more east. Again, what I love about Lakewood Ranch, very young, very affluent, very safe areas to live in Lakewood Ranch, very good school zones. You can't really be in Lakewood Ranch in a bad school zone. What I love about Sarasota is its proximity to downtown. I love downtown Sarasota. It's thriving, a lot of good restaurants, shopping, things to do, and the proximity to the beaches. You just can't beat being close to the Siesta Key and Lido and St. Armand Circle. All of the coast has going on here in Sarasota. So that's the perk of Sarasota. The perk of Lakewood Ranch is you get in this master plan, most likely in a gated community, own lifestyle, country club type living, suburbia. And then you have Venice, which is going to be a little bit more quaint. Historic downtown's more quaint, right around the corner. I love having our office here. We can walk over, grab coffee, grab ice cream. There's some live music playing on Venice Ave constantly. You got beachfront dining over here on Venice, but it's more quaint. It's more laid back. You're not going to have the hustle and bustle as you would have in downtown Sarasota. The traffic that you'll have in Lakewood Ranch is going to be a little bit more removed from that. And then if you're looking for new construction in Venice, there's this area pocket in North Venice now that's actually building up with new construction. And I actually like this area if you're looking to be a little bit more removed from the shopping, the retail, the restaurants, and the traffic. You want to be a little bit more removed from that, but still have proximity to the beach, then this North Venice area would actually be a great target, something I would consider as well. And the school zones are great around here. So you have great proximity to the beach. You're going to be obviously be focused more on Nokomis Beach and Venice Island. Again, I personally don't like the beach as much, but it is world renowned for shark's teeth and shelling. So if that's something you're into, then absolutely, check it out. I love coming down here and going to the beach, but if I'm just going to relax on the beach, I'd much rather go to like a Siesta, Lido, or even Longboat Key. So that's just my preference. But from a great geographical location, this North Venice new construction pocket is definitely something that is being targeted. There's a lot of incentives going on with these builders now, and something I would be considering if I was looking to move to the area. Then it's south of this, even you have Welland Park, which is another master plan community. You're going to have 50,000 plus residents when it's all said and done. It's going to have its own little downtown area. There's over 20 plus neighborhoods now in Welland Park. Again, it's kind of like a mirror image of Lakewood Ranch. Lakewood Ranch is going to be better on a map geographically from my perspective, but Welland Park is going to be a lot more quieter and more removed if you're targeting that. Depending on kind of what you're looking for in lifestyle and culture, that's probably going to dictate where you want to end up. But Welland Park, again, all the same builders that were building in Lakewood Ranch, from tract home builders to affordable builders to these estate luxury home builders, these custom home builders, are building in Welland Park, and there's some great perks to it. Cool Today Park, where the home of the spring training for Atlanta Braves, is right there in Welland Park. You're going to have a road that cuts through out to Minnesota Key, so you'll have easy access to the beach in time. It's a little bit longer right now, a little bit more removed. The traffic has picked up, obviously, with the amount of residents, but overall, very quiet. You're not going to have as many great restaurants, like local restaurants and shopping and things like that you would have in Lakewood Ranch. But again, because of that, you're getting a little bit more removed, a little less traffic, and you're enjoying some of these community amenities that you would have in Welland Park, but not necessarily the area or city amenities. So that's kind of an overview of the house situation and the community situation as a whole for this whole Sarasota area. Now let's dive into the lifestyle and amenities for the area. Obviously, what I love about Sarasota is it's kind of like this big city, but not a big city. It has everything amenity-wise a big city would have. It has an opera house. It's got Oslo Theater with some Broadway plays. It's got the Van Wezel, which is going to have unbelievable world-class performing arts and music and artistry. Sarasota is a cultural hotspot with tons of museums. Ringling Museum is a wonderful museum in the area. There's the Crosley, there is Spanish Point. There's tons of stuff going on regarding history and culture. One of the best places in the whole entire country regarding culinary expertise. Tons of Zagat rated restaurants here in the area in Sarasota. Obviously, we know the beaches are world class, but it has everything that you would expect and want in a big city, but it feels like a small city still. That's what I love about Sarasota, and why I personally, if I was looking to relocate, I would try to be close in proximity to downtown Sarasota and all that has to offer. Again, Lakewood Ranch, you're 30 minutes or so. Palmer Ranch, you're 20, 30 minutes or so. Venice, you're 30, 45 minutes, depending where you're at in Venice or so, and then, you know, Bradenton, whatever, just north of downtown Sarasota and stuff. So you're looking at the whole area. Obviously, Wellland Park's gonna be the furthest away. Inglewood's gonna be furthest away, being south, but wonderful local amenities, tons to do in the Sarasota area, something that I would be targeting, something I'd be considering if I was looking to move. And as well as the, you know, we're known for outdoor sports. You're talking 60 plus golf courses just in the Sarasota area. Water sports are really awesome with kayaking, fishing, paddleboarding. One of my favorite things to do is paddleboarding through the Lido mangrove tunnels. Kind of are in these little mangrove tunnels, and you see the crab and the fish, and the water's clear, and it's something really enjoyable to do to get away. The boating is spectacular here on the West Coast. I grew up with being on a boat over here, and, going through the bay, the intercoastal is just wonderful. A lot of waterfront restaurants up and down the coast. So there's tons to do in the outdoor spectrum. That's why a lot of people are targeting this area to move. It is wonderful climate year round, and something that you would want to be outside and enjoying what this area has to offer. Let's dive into some cost of living and some practical considerations. The healthcare in the area is wonderful. Sarasota Memorial is one of the top rated hospitals in the whole entire country. It's got everything from oncology to cardiac centers to, it's a full-blown hospital. There's tons of now. Sarasota Memorial has all these pop-ups all over. There's a new Sarasota Memorial Hospital here in Venice, and there's tons of these pop-up Sarasota Memorial little spots all throughout the counties. The healthcare is spectacular, and they have upped that and the locations of healthcare because of the influx of growth to the area. Now, the cost of living. The utilities as a whole are going to be lower. I think they're 3 to 5% lower than the national average for the area. My water bill is somewhere, in the realm of under $100. Electric bill, depending on whether it's summer or winter, it'll be $100 in the winter, which is going to be low because we're not running our air conditioning in the winter much, but it could be $200-300 a month in the summer, especially if you have a pool and your pool pump is running constantly. The auto insurance for Florida is one of the most expensive in the country, so that's something to take into consideration. Then the housing insurance has gone up over the last couple of years with the influx of storms, but that is not unbearable. Flood insurance is not required if you're not in a flood zone, so that's kind of a misconception a lot of people have. If you're not in a flood zone, it's very unlikely that you'll have a flooding issue. FEMA does a really good job of predicting where the floodplains are going to be. Like in the last couple storms that hit, if you're in a flood zone, there is a chance that you got some flood damage to the home, but if you're not in a flood zone, I personally don't know of an area that wasn't in a flood zone that had some flooding here in the area. So if you're in a flood zone, there's some expectation with that, and your flood insurance would be required if you have to go through a lender. So that's something to consider as well. Taxes. There's no state income tax, which is a huge benefit. So even though the cost of living as a whole might be a little bit higher than the national average, the no income tax actually helps in that factor. And in fact, you could factor that in. Property tax is very modest compared to other places in the country. I know New England, California have very high property taxes. I say if you're moving to the area, kind of plan on that 1.25% of the purchase price of the home being what you could expect for regarding a property tax. It could go up or down depending on if you're in a city jurisdiction, if there's a CDD associated with the community that's being lumped into taxes as well. So it's not a hard number, but just kind of have that expectation in the back of your mind, and obviously seek that out once you actually narrow in on an area, what that might be for you. But those taxes are going to be reassessed at purchase. So a lot of people are looking at the tax history and looking at the current taxes of the homes, and don't get caught up on that because that won't be the final number. Homestead is a wonderful thing that Florida offers as well. They do a reduction of that property tax if you are making Florida a permanent resident, if it's going to be a permanent residency for you. So overall, the cost of living might be a little bit higher. The median price for homes is right around $500,000 or so for Sarasota and Manatee County. So with all that, that's everything that you should consider when you're looking to move. I know personally there's been an influx of people retiring to the area. There's about 30% or so of the country now that is actually allowed to work remote. So that's been an influx of people that are moving down even at a younger age because they have the ability to work from their homes. So they're targeting these new construction, amenity-rich communities. Again, this video was aimed to try to give you a very good idea of the geography, the location, the amenities, what goes into thinking about relocating here to this area. Again, if you have any questions, if you have anything I can help you with, I would love to be a resource for you. Please don't hesitate to reach out. Thanks. Hey, thanks so much for watching the video. I just want to pop on real quick and tell you a little bit about who I am and who we are here at Zakos Realty and Design Group. I'm Ryan Zakos, as you heard throughout the video. I was born and raised here in Sarasota. I currently live with my family in Lakewood Ranch. Started this firm with my father about 8 years ago or so. We have an office in downtown Sarasota and downtown Venice. He actually lives on Venice Island. My father relocated here from Michigan, and it was his first career out of college at Michigan State, was a police officer here in Sarasota County at the Sarasota County Sheriff's Office. My mom relocated here from New Jersey when she was actually a child, so they have both relocated here from out of state, but it afforded me the opportunity to actually be born and raised here. So I spent my first 18 years living in Sarasota proper, and then now with my family, we live in Lakewood Ranch. I absolutely love everything about the Gulf Coast of Florida. I've worked in St. Pete, I've worked in Tampa, I lived in Sarasota. My parents currently live in Venice Island. I have sold a lot of stuff in Welland Park. I'm passionate about this area, and I think that it offers an unbelievable lifestyle that is unparalleled to anything else in the state of Florida, let alone the country. I do think that being born and raised here, it provides me the opportunity to provide insight into communities, into areas that a lot of agents don't know. There are a lot of agents, there's 10,000 plus agents here locally, and a lot of those agents actually aren't from here or haven't lived here that very long at all. So being from here, I have had the privilege of building relationships with tons and tons of vendors in every industry you could think of, but then also just having that intimate knowledge of each community and each area, whether it's a pocket of Sarasota or a pocket of Venice or Lakewood Ranch, whatever that consists. So I do think that I can provide that value in great detail for you and help you in understanding what your relocation goals are and helping you achieve that in what kind of home and community you want to ultimately be in. So please don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions at all. I would love to be a resource for you, and I hope I can meet you one day. Thanks. Talk to you soon.